Yeah.
45 years old. How old are you guys?
I'm 35.
I'm 36.
36?
Yep.
You little baby still.
John's age.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shit that should have killed us. Like, we rode for a professional BMX, but I rode up until like 4 years ago. Yeah, dude, like, been knocked out a couple times. Been real lucky.
That's what he calls it.
Alright, we're live.
We're live?
We're live.
Live on Ectoplasm Facebook page.
Hey guys. Here's the mic, right? Is this...
That's the mic for the stream, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to roll on this also. So we just got to basically speak up.
Not a problem.
So what I'll do is I'll clean it all up and all that in Audition. And then just share it with it all, you know? And then, I mean, we'll figure we'll just make this into like a crossover.
Oh, and we could do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Right. Right, peeps. Koopsick.
Dr. Feel
Oh,
Good.
shit.
Oh, I don't need to invite you, Josh. You're here.
I'm right here. You got me. Alright. So we are officially live. What is cracking, everybody?
I hate Iowa right now. I have it all over me. I can feel it.
It just Iowa all over Koopsick.
I almost had a
buddy?
heart attack.
Nah, you're fine. What happened though? Tell us.
Goddamn small. I'm sure small towns everywhere do it. I knew that they did it because I had been here before and it scared me before.
Right.
But there weren't tornadoes in the area the last time it happened.
So
Okay.
we're having inclement weather right now.
Is that what this is called?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a storm rolled in right at that time because I was here an hour before you guys got here.
So yeah, it was raining and then it started to hail and then the 5 o'clock whistle blew,
Which is the same as this tornado siren.
which is literally right across the street. So it was super loud. Like when it happened, Koopsick pooed himself a little bit.
I thought the basement was locked.
He's like, I can't seek shelter.
So yeah, then it just did what it does is it does one like ramp up.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's not like a continuous thing. So if it were an actual tornado, yeah, it would just continue to run.
But I literally had people before on the way up here all day like calling me like, you know there's going to be tornadoes there, right? So I was thinking about it. The last time I was up here driving home, I saw a tornado on the way home.
I do remember that.
So it's like something's
took
going to
pictures
get
of
me.
it.
Yes, I sent it to you. You were cowering in your basement.
That's crazy. But I told these guys, we said there's a good chance we're going to see a tornado.
Was it when the diesel?
We almost saw
truck in front of us was just like drifting to the point finally he stopped.
Yeah.
It almost tipped
Dude,
over.
Yeah.
it came off the road, dude.
He put his emergency lights on and he stopped right in front of us. I was like,
he had to clean up, I'm
alright
sure,
then.
because that looked pretty gnarly.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you guys think of Iowa? Is this the first time you guys have ever been that?
First
time.
Definitely first time.
Yes, sure is.
Wow.
Nothing
There's not much
personal.
here.
Good place to visit. Wouldn't want to live here.
I totally understand.
horrible Wi-Fi.
Terrible. Terrible
He knows
internet.
all about that.
Terrible internet.
No service. No phone service.
No, I know, right? So like the only phone service that'll work around here is Verizon. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude. We have, see, I got T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason why when I get home the locks are going to be changed and I'm not going to be able to get in the house.
Right,
Right. Because I haven't responded to
Hopefully your wife
of
is
her
listening
messages.
to this.
She
I
thinks
tell you,
I'm
it's-
dead or something.
A lot of people will come rolling in here with like Sprint, you know, and it's just yeah. Malvern like is a dead zone for the most part, you know. It's I mean no pun intended.
Well, it's like this. I have Sprint, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have LTE extended network. I have no net. No.
Just turn the
Right?
phone.
Yeah.
The phone 6 in here.
That's how it's been.
So ridiculous.
Oh man.
Right now it says extended, and that's usually pretty good.
Yeah. I mean just yeah. Hopefully plug into the Wi-Fi and it'll be better situation.
Until
I
we
hope.
leave.
Yeah, until you go to leave then, right?
They were like,
On her own.
we don't know.
Where are you guys staying at?
At,
Was it the one I sent you or
Yeah, tell everybody watching
Yes.
where you guys are staying.
Is it the one?
Tell everybody
Oh,
watching.
where's staying at Motel 6.
Stanton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Stanton Inn.
It doesn't matter. You can say it. They still know where it is.
Yeah.
They
That's
won't
a good
find it.
point. It's a very
It
good
does
point.
not look like a hotel at all.
Mm-mm.
Seriously, there's like a convenience store and this building that looks like a hall of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all one level and they only have like 12 rooms or something. But
Wow.
Speaking of the convenience
comfortable and
store,
clean, man. Like they
What
did
is
a
it
bang up
again?
job.
Casey's?
Yeah.
Man, that place is awesome.
Yeah, we don't have
They
Casey's.
have them all over the Midwest.
Yeah, don't have them. They're freaking sweet.
Did you try the pizza yet?
Yes,
Yes.
we tried the quesadilla
Quesadilla
pizza.
pizza.
It is the freaking bomb.
Dude,
They're all pretty
Dude,
good.
so good.
it's pretty much what it's at.
We should
Yeah.
be sponsored by
Yes,
them.
he had.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to talk to the people at Casey's.
Well, they have menus and stuff
Oh, yeah.
everywhere we went, so yeah, you might as well have them here.
It's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We always have the nights where it's like, my turn to cook. And on the nights where it's my turn to cook, I'm usually like, hey.
I already know what's gonna happen. I already know where you're going because it's at my house too. It's like, what do you want to go and eat? Or should I
But I'll
grab
hit at
something?
her.
on
I'll
the way
hit at her
home?
like I'll be like, but you've been wanting to go here for a while, haven't you? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Screw it. Let's do it. I'll use my money. Let's do it.
There you
That's
go.
good. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now, first of all, let's go around and kind of introduce ourselves or whatever, and then I want to get into what happened last night. I want to get into that
Okay.
a little bit. So we'll start with you.
All right.
Go ahead and tell everybody watching and listening who you
I'm
are.
Shaggy, and I'm a paranormal investigator.
Now, we-
I'm definitely the troublemaker. I guarantee it.
Now we've mentioned Shaggy multiple times on the radio show. And
Yeah.
Shaggy is actually like.
We play some of his music even.
Yeah, exactly. We played some of
Yeah.
his music, all the
We had you
voicemails.
on.
Yeah, the 100th episode.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
By phone. Now it sounded terrible.
I was gonna say this is a wasted slot.
That is
They
crazy.
couldn't find anybody else. It was a last minute thing.
That was the only one that worked.
And now let's go over here.
I'm also a Para-holiX. No, my name's Huck, and I'm with.
Still asleep?
Yeah, I'm always asleep, and
You'll know when he
Yeah.
drops his phone, he's actually asleep. So
That's what happened.
that,
Yeah,
that'll make you
that
more
drops
phone-
my phone a lot. But,
Man, that phone's one of a million.
yeah. So we brought our team from Houston, and we also have the Perspective podcast.
Yep.
So me and Shaggy.
It's the world's only bi-yearly podcast.
By
Yeah.
year.
It's amazing. we have an episode that was finished 2 months ago, I think, right? That hasn't
Fuck you.
been uploaded.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Hard drive problems.
Yeah, he's not talking about the computer.
Now let's go to you then.
I'm John. I'm from the Para-holiX, and I'm the main cameraman.
That's good stuff.
That's why we keep him behind the camera, so you can see.
Oh, that's good.
From Texas, Baytown, Texas, specifically.
Yeah.
Bipolar.
It's about 20, 30 minutes.
Blue hair. Wait.
Turquoise kind of,
Yeah, mine's
Say blue hair, don't care.
You got a sweet ass like gaming room, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I'm really glad that you said gaming room because you're like, you got a sweet ass.
Followed that up with something
Yeah.
quick.
You should have dragged
I
that
was like-
a little more.
I'm like,
Where we going with this?
We've
Yeah,
been
he's
making
in-
those jokes all
Right.
day.
He's got the PairaGamer thing going on too. And it's,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
So.
That is good stuff. That is good stuff. What's your favorite then? Like
What?
game?
My favorite game? Either Metal Slug, Crazy Taxi, Simpsons, 4-player arcade, a
Ooh.
little bit older ones.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's good
Old
stuff.
those are my
Shit, man.
favorites.
I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Now let's go to you.
Oh.
My name's Tina. I keep all these from getting arrested.
God bless
We're not from Ticketed.
We're not from getting tickets.
Yeah, he got
You
You
tickets.
guys got a ticket on the way up?
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
They're in
Crazy
rental.
story.
Yeah.
There's no tags in that rental.
Didn't put
They told us
tags
don't
on.
worry about it.
Yeah, they're like, don't worry about it.
You got the
Then when I
papers.
called them, they're like, "Oh, you didn't say you were going out of state." I'm like, "I shouldn't have to. It's a fucking rental.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who asked that?"
I think you pretty much need license plate in the state too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
They said there's paper on the windshield and there's something in the glove box, you'll be fine. Well, that cop in Oklahoma didn't think so. He service agreed.
Oh my gosh.
To the tune of $189.
Well, they should pay that, right?
Well,
yeah.
Technically they would. He was the one that got cited
about
because he
that.
was on the contract. And they were like, only you were allowed to drive.
They thought I was going to drive 16 hours by myself.
But that's just it. Yeah, it's a 16-hour haul.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
wasn't
So
gonna-
we all divvied up the drive.
I have a lot of energy, but you know, after about so many hours, yeah.
It gets rough, man. Like driving
Oh,
that
yes.
far,
We're all
like, it
gonna
gets
die.
fucking rough. Yeah, I hate it.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's different like when you have good company and all that fun stuff, you know, or whatever. But god dang, like, it
That's
just,
been the only part about the trip that hasn't been the best.
Yeah.
Best thing is the
Is the
road
company,
trips.
because we all hate each
Yeah,
other.
you just can't
we're
fucking
fighting the
stand
whole
each
damn time.
throwing shit at each
We're
other.
family
he's-
of four.
Well, he's just a shitty driver, period.
Oh yeah. This is what
What are you
way
talking
it goes.
about?
Dude,
We're
I
sitting
was
and I'm
trying
like,
to lull you to sleep,
Right.
dude.
that's exactly.
Throw your
I'm like,
hands in the
go
air.
straight.
That's a roller coaster.
and so
ride.
these two, Tina and John, drive really good. I don't. I sleep the whole time I drive. But
Dude,
they,
he's scary as fuck. Dude.
Oh,
I
Watching
sleep,
you
dude,
drive,
straight up. I'm like this, dude. I'm like,
Yup.
you won't sleep when he's driving.
I
I promise.
understand
He
how
doesn't. And the funny thing is, once I get behind the wheel, they're both asleep. They're all three asleep. I'm like,
oh yeah.
oh yeah, tell me which way now.
You're
Just
like
like
nobody
that.
to talk to,
The
but we're asleep.
passenger up front is always supposed to be awake.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
go
awake
pilot.
when he
Did not
drives.
happen.
What is this?
He's
Gotta
barely
have-
awake now.
You gotta have
Yes.
a go pilot.
I'm
Now,
gonna
I
drink
do
this
know-
and then wash it down with a monster.
Now I do know that you guys last night were at the Velisca Axe Murder House.
Yes.
Good buddies
Wait,
of ours
she didn't
over
introduce
here.
herself, did she?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
about to
yes,
say,
yes.
you just
You did?
told me.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
He thought you didn't either.
Okay,
Well,
you
I
need
did,
a Red
but
Bull.
then I don't
Yeah.
remember.
We have extra Red Bull if you
Okay.
need one.
Let's get Koopsik something to drink.
Yeah.
But so obviously your first time to Iowa, your first time to the Velisca Axe Murder House. What did you guys think of the house itself, the story itself? Like,
well, you know, it's been on the Para bucket list forever.
oh yeah,
You know?
oh yeah,
And the story is just horrific. You know what happened,
crazy.
and
Horrible.
you're thinking that that's going to have a lot of negative stuff going on there. But you know when we got there, the place is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But you know, it was still. I'm about as sensitive as a hammer, so I don't
get it,
pick up on anything. But
Right.
so maybe it was just the way it looked, kind of had a creepy vibe going on, or it's probably just in your mind about it because you know what happened.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the Velisca Axe
Axe
Murder
Murder
House.
House. Yeah, it's kind of hard to separate that,
Sure.
you know. But really, for me, as being one of the two biggest skeptics on the team, one of the most exciting things that happened is we got to meet and talk to Johnny Hauser. You
Great
know,
guy,
'cause, yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nothing happened live and direct, which you know is really what you're wanting when you go
Sure.
to this kind of stuff. But I did capture an EVP that I want to go back and scrutinize, you know, analyze it a little more. But
Yeah.
what I think right now, it's probably one of the best things we captured. And I was basically in the kids' room upstairs.
Mhm.
And you've been there, right?
Yep.
Okay,
many
but you
times.
hadn't got to go yet.
I haven't, no. I was bummed out I couldn't make it up last night.
Well, at least for us,
It was uneventful
it
for
was
the most part, but
pretty
it was,
uneventful.
that's ghost hunting, man. You know,
Hey,
what
that's
you
the
see on
way it is.
TVs.
That's exactly what it
A
is.
lot of what you see on TVs.
Yeah, it's not like the TV shows.
Right.
But I was asking a series of questions, and I asked if the kids were here, something to do with the kids, and you hear what sounds like a little boy is saying "Daddy,"
Oh
and it's
wow.
like "Daddy," just like that. It's pretty creepy. This guy
Wow.
heard it. If he can hear an EVP,
Yeah.
you got
Wow.
something legit.
That's good shit.
It's the legitness.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
you guys haven't had very many experiences.
Now, me and him hardly
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, me and my wife, me and Tina, I've had tons of experiences since I was a little kid. I've had encounters, you know, no full body apparition type stuff, but like, you know, hear noises
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know, I've been touched. You know, I've had what felt like hair drug over my face. That's my best experience to date.
Wow.
So I always tell people it's the craziest things that ever happened to me. But you know, outside of that, like her and Tina and myself, we're just No, we're waiting for that moment, that full body apparition. That's the holy grail for us. Like, at this point,
for the Holy Grail.
you know, we heard some footsteps in the house ourselves last night. We got to go back over and see if we caught any of it, though. You know, it was so faint. It was kind of distant. You know,
When y'all were
around-
by yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's when the machine went off after that. You remember?
We called
John's
you in.
machine.
It was
Oh,
it was
yeah.
supposed to go out.
Yeah. We
That
hear.
was
I'm
pretty
like,
hilarious, dude. He's got a what is that battery thing?
It's a 12 volt
Portable
inverter.
power. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
turns it to 110. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, and he didn't know this. Whenever it gets low or out of power, it just decides to go. It makes this god awful loud
Yes.
noise.
High pitched.
But it happened at the same time we heard the footsteps. So we were like, maybe something's like.
Well, we weren't in
up
there.
some-
No.
They were in there by
The
themselves.
juice out of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn.
something like that. So all of a sudden, we're out in what is that, like the barn,
You're right.
Yes.
our barn or whatever,
Oh,
taking
yeah.
a break.
Yeah.
And he comes and he's like, Shaggy, come here quick. We didn't know what was going on. We get in there, and I was in before he was, and that's all I heard was that god awful noise. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm running upstairs trying
Shit,
to.
yeah.
It didn't sound like anything paranormal. I was like, something's wrong with the gear.
Right.
It
Right.
sounded like that, and that's what it ended up being. But
I think that.
yeah, I mean, the place was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we all agree that we enjoyed going.
Oh,
We don't
yes.
feel like it was a waste. The history, everything
Dude,
around
it's
it.
nuts. Like,
Yeah.
what's really cool is like the way Hauser can relay that story.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So effectively.
Well, he actually wasn't our tour guide.
Is that right?
Yeah, we actually had.
I don't know her name. What is
She was cool.
the
She
older
was-
lady that
yeah.
works there?
Not the.
Not the older
we did see
lady.
the owner too. She's a trip.
Martha.
Yeah,
Martha,
she's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Who's the one on the Dead Files with Johnny? They were on.
They were
did you
both
see on Dead
the show,
Files.
wasn't they?
Yeah.
Both ladies.
Oh, I don't know.
The Dead
I don't
Files
know her
episode
name.
with Johnny was on there. That lady was on there. She's the other person that does the walkthroughs.
Oh, I see.
So it's
Yeah.
you know we
I don't
we
know
got
her name.
her instead of Johnny. But then I went next door and I was like, man, I didn't just drive 1,000 miles and not meet Johnny Hauser. That's not happening.
That's good
So
stuff.
I just went and knocked on the door, and his wife
Harassing
came
his
out, and
house.
she's like, "What?" And I'm like, Hauser? She's like, "He's not here." And so she called him, man. He came right back up and
That's good stuff.
came out
Oh,
and
yes.
started talking to me and Tina, and then these guys showed up, and he almost wrecked the van.
Yeah,
trying
damn
to
it.
get
Because
out
I
of
had
the van.
seen him walking back and forth, and I
Mhm.
kept joking with John, be like, "Hey, John, what's going on, man?" And I knew he couldn't hear me, and I was just like
Yeah.
talking
Right.
like this. And we leave to go get some food. We come around the corner, and they're over there talking. I was like, "God dang it!" I was wrecked trying to park the van.
It's like, I mean,
I've
he's
seen him 3
practically a
times already.
celebrity,
He's
man, in the
gonna talk.
paranormal community at this
Yeah.
point. You know, I mean,
He's like one of the most genuine people I've ever met.
He's awesome.
He was so
Yeah,
laid back.
he was awesome.
An amazing
Yeah,
guy.
it was awesome.
For
very
sure.
much so.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the coolest things I think we probably got to clear up was what was the deal with the 4 pounds of bacon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
Okay.
there's a legitimate story. There's a legitimate side to that story, but it's been played on so badly, mostly
Oh,
by
Lord.
this guy.
It's so bizarre. So the story goes that, you know, like everybody was killed, the mirrors were
Oh.
covered and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and they found bacon
Oh.
on the floor in the kitchen. Is that where it was?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he said. I think she
Oh,
said
in the parlor with
In
the
the
piano,
parlor?
next to the piano.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
yes.
So he could have been playing a tune.
It had
while this
actually
was
been.
going
It had
on.
actually has actually been
Little
called
ditty.
a.
little ditty.
They've actually. I've actually heard this called a masturbatorial device.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bacon?
Correct.
Yeah, so you hadn't heard about this story.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they
this
found
is great.
bacon and they
The pig wouldn't stay still, so the dude slaughtered it.
Took 4 pounds of bacon.
and just fucked it. And they
Okay.
nailed it.
So it wasn't sliced bacon.
No, it wasn't cooked.
Slab-o bacon.
Right.
Cooked bacon. Oh,
Yeah.
that's-
So now they're saying that Johnny cleared it up and said that
Well,
they
she was
believe
saying
that
it too, how she didn't think that that's
they used it to cover up the smell,
The smell.
for the dogs. So
Right.
like apparently
cover the scent. Yeah.
The
And that
scent.
makes a lot more sense
does.
than envisioning, you know, some
Right.
serial killer, you know,
Goddamn. Yeah.
breaking,
so if you just
giving
go
it
in
to
and
a 4
slaughter-
pound piece of bacon. I
Right.
don't
You just
get
go
it.
in and slaughter 6 or 8 people and you just rub it all on your feet and your hands
Yeah.
and the dogs can't pick up your scent.
Exactly. So
He
and I mean,
just rubbed it everywhere.
it's
Yeah.
super interesting, like to get into that story and talk about like just Villisca in general, you know, and all that stuff because it's so damn close,
yeah.
you know. And then having Johnny here, as often as we have.
Yeah.
Him and I, have talked at great length about that story and how this place was up and in full swing at that time.
Yeah.
And how the rail line runs right freaking there.
You did mention that.
How the killer that was traveling came through Malvern to get there.
I mean, because this was the place to be, kind of, at that time. And I mean, there's really no other place between here and Villisca.
Yeah.
So was it like a hotel or something?
This was, at that time, this was like the hotel.
So there's a very good chance that the killer or killers, which I
chilled right here.
Mm-hmm.
Chilled right here. Like maybe a night or two before or a night or two after. I mean, just kind of depending on where they went.
What took place.
Obviously. Yeah, which, I mean, these are all things that we're never going to really probably ever know.
Right.
But
and there's a shame if there's not like some good records of that.
Or like a ledger of some sort that I can get my hands on. Oh my God.
Because
then you try to correlate, like, I mean, the list of potential killers that they have, like, it's a mile long, right?
Right.
If one of those names matched up, right in the beginning of June.
Some of the suspects.
Yeah, from the beginning to the middle of June.
Yep.
Of 1912? 1912?
June of 1912.
Because you used to work at like a hotel place or whatever, right? Did y'all ever make note of any strange people that came there? Anything that stood out?
Oh, that's a good question, yeah.
Because you would think that if someone came in smelling head to toe like bacon, they might have made a note of that.
That's a good point, too. Of course, this is like the early 1900s.
No, you didn't?
No.
Like the early 1900s, I don't know how many people were bathing that often.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, you got a good point there. Everybody's smelling.
Everybody's just dirty.
You just smell like raw bacon or wet shaggy dog.
Or just ass, like just ass,
Yeah.
I mean, it's June in Iowa. It's fucking hot, So, I don't know, man. People sweating.
Johnny also mentioned there's like a quartz line of
Dude. Yes. Okay, so my buddy Nate, who did a Brush with Evil with us, he was looking into all this stuff, and yes, there's this weird line of like quartz deposit from basically when this was all glacier, So there's this weird deposit that goes literally through Malvern, goes all the way straight to Villisca, and goes all the way straight into the front yard of Workman's Chapel in Maryville, Missouri.
Now, is that a Brush with Evil 1?
That's a Brush with Evil 1. Dude, super jacked.
Okay.
Super jacked up.
Huh.
Like,
that's so cool, man.
Yeah. Now, Nate, like, sitting him down and talking about it, like, he can describe it more eloquently than I can.
Right.
But it's a trip. It is an absolute trip to hear him say
that stuff. That there's already been ideas and theories about ley lines anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so how things can potentially, paranormal stuff happen along ley lines or even travel along them. So if you have a quartz, and that goes as far as, with water. Water's the same thing. The whole Ghost of Shepherdstown was built around that idea about the water, but quartz would be that too, that connection where if there's something here like an evil spirit, is it able to migrate? Like,
use that
to go back and forth?
It's an interesting thought too, yeah.
Huh. Because that, like Johnny said, there's times when this place is practically dormant and Villisca's dormant. Like he goes and there's nothing happens. And then all of a sudden the activity is just crazy, out of control.
I tell you what's super interesting about that, because like you bring up a really cool point, like is it possible that they're that transient and they're able to just move basically wherever the fuck they want, maybe within a specific set of parameters or whatever. But, during the weekends, obviously I'm here giving tours and things like that. Well, it's been cold and we haven't been doing a lot of tours. We're still open, but nobody's showing up, right?
Right.
So I pull up, Johnny Hauser verse the Villisca Axe Murder House, season 1, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm watching, and it's interesting because as he's like doing EVPs and things and asking for specific responses, it's happening here. So I'm watching it on my laptop in the kitchen.
Okay.
Wow.
And things are going on in this house.
That correlate to what you're watching. What?
I've texted him so many times about this, and I'm like, there's something bigger. He was, and I mean, you could go back and watch the episodes and things of that nature, but I always caught it. live, you know, because it
Wow.
had shit else going on. Pretty interesting, like, how that was happening. So I'm like texting him. I'm like, dude, there's something bigger than all of us and all of this going on that we're not privy to yet.
Oh yeah.
Like we're barely just scratching the surface here, you know? Like,
yeah, this could actually be the small scope of what life really is about. The big activity could be going on in the background right now.
right.
We just don't see it.
Exactly.
You know, Johnny made a good point too. He made the comment that what if, you know, life in that perspective or wherever they're at, what if it
The
perspective.
perspective.
What if it's like, it's almost biblical the way he said it, like, what if a day is like 1,000 years, or 1,000 years is like one day?
Right. How time is meaningless.
Right. So how we're seeing stuff as dormant, or
No. I saw it.
What'd you
come on.
So, right here, like just from my vision, if you just peek around the corner, you'll be able to see, you can see light through the banister slits going up the stairs. Something black just blocked out that light, went up the stairs.
Really?
Do you have a camera there?
Koopsy, did you see that?
No, I can only see a little bit of light up there. I was just.
See,
I can
that's
pretty much
weird.
see almost to the base of the steps, but I mean,
No.
there's light
You have a
pouring
camera
through
there?
the banister slits.
No, I don't have a camera right there. but-
Wow.
It's. I mean.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Well.
But that's the thing. It's like these time spans of where it's dormant and nothing's happening. You know, what's to say that's not even just a small amount of time for them? Like for us, it's dormant and there's nothing happening. We're like, it's not haunted at all. Like what are they talking about? And I'll give you an example of why this is pertinent into this conversation. Because we were in Abeliska for 10 minutes, man.
I knew you were gonna
And
talk
we
about this.
had the locals pulling up like, hey, you know the place isn't haunted, right? It's bullshit. And and we're like, I used to know people live there and blah, blah, blah. And they lived there for 20 years, all through the 80s.
And he
Nothing ever
kept
happened.
telling you, I know so-and-so.
Yeah, there's some-
He can give you the
So
the
there's
story.
some guy that lives in Veliska who's
Who looked like-
97 years old.
Okay.
And his dad was 21 when the murders happened.
Yeah.
And he can tell you, he said, he can tell you the whole story, and he's known people that's lived there.
Yeah.
It's not haunted. And then I'm like,
Yeah, I
well,
would-
it's not, we'll find out on our own.
Yeah.
And he pulls off.
I'm like,
Thanks,
look,
but no thanks. But
20
yeah.
minutes
I'm like,
later,
yeah, I was
there
like,
comes
have a great
another
day.
one, dude.
Yeah.
Another
Is that
one
right?
pulls up. They're
Yeah.
like, you're wasting your time.
You know,
He didn't tell
it's
us
amazing. See, and it's amazing to me because, like, I feel we're insanely fortunate here, because, you know, knowing Johnny and talking to him and all that, like, I do know that they have put up with a lot of crap
Yep.
from a lot of people in the community
Mhm.
saying things like just like that.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Haters gonna hate.
Oh my God! Exactly.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, in this town or whatever, people have been more than accommodating.
Really?
Very much welcoming this. Like,
Well, that's good.
Malvern's a pretty cool little bird, you know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
really is.
Well, they probably see the financial side of it as well. Like,
People
that
Sure,
brings people
sure.
to town, and, you know, and it creates traffic.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
And that's what one of the people in Veliska said. It was like, yeah, it's a nice gig they got going on here. It's probably a good money maker, but you know, there's nothing. And I'm like, why does that even matter to you, man?
See,
Like,
but here's the thing he didn't understand, and I wasn't there for that, and I wish I would have been, because when he kept talking about the story, I'd have been like, do we look like CNN to you?
right.
We're not here
Right.
for that part of the story.
Yeah.
We're here to experience,
Yeah.
is there paranormal activity or not, and we'll be the judge of that, and we'll come, and just because it didn't happen for us doesn't mean there's nothing here.
Right.
It just didn't happen, you know, because it's got to be lined up, the right atmospheric conditions and all this stuff before it can go off. It's like trying to capture lightning or something like that.
Exactly.
In the right place at the
that's
right
a
time.
good analogy.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
really
good way of
is.
looking at it, man.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of variables that might have to happen. You know, like the weather, the time of year. I mean, if it's residual or if it's a playback, it's got to be a certain time of year or time of
We
day.
don't know what
I mean,
causes
to put
it to get
yourself-
triggered in the first place.
Exactly. That's a great way of looking at it, dude. To
Yeah.
put yourself in a spot when lightning strikes is about as good a chance of saying, I'm going to watch a full body apparition walk through that door right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
But
like
this-
how you talk about the frequencies and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, we could have been sitting in your chair and not seen anything.
Right.
It
Right.
does-
That's
yeah,
typically
it's
what
very-
happens to us.
Yeah.
The idea of the different frequencies, because I think we all vibrate on different frequencies, and maybe, you know, my energy frequency is different from yours, from hers, and so on. And this, whatever, you know, that's another thing. We don't believe in ghosts in the traditional sense. I personally will say I'm probably one of the only ghost hunters that don't believe in ghosts. And I said that, I think, on the episodes on it. But we consider ourselves more paranormal investigators anyway. We say ghost hunters tongue in cheek. It's kind of a joke, you know.
Right.
Ghost hunters. But, you know, what's weird about it is just because, with the different frequencies, it might vibrate on a frequency that will not work with me. Right. And it could be screaming at me. It could be dancing a jig right here, and I'm just not going to see it. Yeah. And we just can't interact. And that just may be how it is.
That makes sense. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I know, like, just from like personal experience or whatever, I think, you know, group dynamic has a lot to do with it also. Like, my wife and I can go grocery shopping, right? At Walmart or Target or wherever.
Right.
Walk down the aisles, walk down every aisle. Grab our shit, get out of the store. I go into the exact same Walmart with my buddy Blake, my buddy Nate, you know, my buddy Connor. Shit's literally falling off the shelves around us. And this is no shit. Like, this has actually happened. But I mean, it makes zero sense to me. Why is it that you get a very specific group of people together, shit goes crazy? But again, I can go into the exact same store with my wife or my kids or whatever. Not a damn thing.
It could have something to do with the energies and the frequencies.
Bingo.
We've said that about Tina because she's had a lot of experiences throughout her life, seeing stuff out of the corner of her eye, shadow stuff, and just having electrical stuff act up. We lived in an apartment one time where
she got a pastor because of me.
Yeah, we actually had we had a Catholic priest come out and like bless the house because she was raised Catholic, I wasn't, but so I went and sought out a Catholic priest and told him what was going on in our house. We were having TVs and VCRs turning on and turning off and
rewinding and stopping.
This priest told me something that...
And he installed a carpet in our bedroom, which he installed himself, and he didn't think it was too thick. We just went, oh, something soft. Well, when you shut the door, you had to literally push the door.
Sure.
And it opened and shut on its own. It shut its own. Our daughter, it slammed, and with our daughter in the room.
So she's sitting next to the door, like how Koopsik's sitting there. I'm across the room watching TV, and out of the corner of my eye, I look up just as the door closes. Bam! And she goes, "What was that?" I said, "That door next to you closed." So she jumps and runs on and gets over here, and I'm like, "Our daughter's in there. What are you doing?" So I run there. So I'm like, "Huck, you on your own." I went there and pushed the door open, and she's asleep, and there's nothing. You know, just nothing.
But see, with this stuff,
that was his final. That was his final line to go get a pastor.
So I went and got this pastor, and he comes out, this priest or whatever, and he said something that blew my mind. Like, he's like, "I'm gonna bless the house for you, and I'm gonna do all that stuff." He goes, "But what they believe, that church or that pastor in particular believe, is that we are all made up of energy. I mean, it's no big secret, right? We're all electrical impulse."
Right.
So what he believed is that if somebody, and I'll use this as an example, if you sat there for 30 years and you lived in this house and you walked to that refrigerator to get a beer every day and you went to that TV every day and you did that for 30 years and then you died, your energy is kind of burned in the fabric of time, so to speak. Sure. And so she might be a person who can attract that leftover energy. Yeah. So all those remnants, she can walk through and absorb it. And so now that raises her energy level. Right. And so now she can affect electrical equipment.
And it will discharge without her even realizing.
Exactly. She wouldn't even know what's going on. And, you know, that was one of the things that the pastor had said. He said that maybe somebody had died, if we could research it, maybe someone had died in that home, that apartment rather, and she was able to absorb that energy, and then without knowing, unbeknownst to herself, she's setting this stuff off. Right. But it's funny because she's a little bit different, like in the fact that her blood type is unique.
See, all those things could have effect.
She has a lot of different things about her that I think attract. Well, for example, she's had her ankle grabbed. You know, the old hack syndrome. That's happened to her.
I was awake.
And
I'm like,
I think she's a magnet for it, you know, and that's why I'm so glad she's on the team and she's willing to be part of this because, you know, a lot of women they wouldn't want no part of it, but she's willing to come on board and you know, the house we lived in where I felt the hair on my face. I mean, she saw orbs there. Me and her both one night were laying in bed, and we saw, this was amazing. We're laying in bed, pyramided the pillows up, and we're laying and watching TV. And then we hear what sounds like dishes jingling in the kitchen drawer, and we look.
Yeah,
and you
but keep in mind, let me tell you something. When our door stayed open because our kids, but you could see from our bed to the kitchen bar. So keep that in mind when he tells you this story.
So this bar extends outwards. The kitchen's kind of behind this wall, and so you can see like the breakfast nook area where there's a sliding door. When I looked, I saw what looked like a small person or child looking at me like this, kind of like cheek on the. And then as soon as I made eye contact with it, it darted to the left, and then you heard the dishwasher make a rattling noise.
Like someone grabbed the dishes and shoved the.
So I said, Brittany, real loud to Mom.
No, he told me, hold your thought.
Well,
and I was like,
I said, Brittany, and they didn't say anything. I said, did you see something? She goes, yeah. I said, well, hold that thought. So I took off in there. I look in the kitchen. There's nothing. So I go to the bedroom. So I knock on my son's bedroom door. He opens it up, and him and his little buddy, they got their headphones on, and they're in Xbox land. You know, they're just playing. Right. I said, we're either of you in the kitchen just now? And they're like, no. I said, okay. So I shut the door, and I went to Brittany's door. Knocked on her door. She's asleep. So I go back in the bedroom, and I said, okay, now what did you just see? And she described what I saw.
Yeah, I said I saw a little kid sit there like this.
Tit for tat. We both saw it at the same time.
No, it gets better.
And then the following day or day after.
The next day when I went to do a load of dishes.
The dishwasher motor was smoked.
Went out.
What?
Yep.
Smoked. So something, whatever that was, when we saw it and it went through the dishwasher, it smoked the motor on the dishwasher.
Wow.
We were renting, and the landlord had to come and replace the dishwasher.
Now, if ghosts...
But here's the funny thing is, I've only known the 666. You know, that's all I've known. Well, our son-in-law tells us, because we start telling him the stuff that we're getting, he's like, you know, there's some numbers on top of, when I Google your house, there's numbers on top of the roof. I'm like, what?
Right above where we saw the kid, there's number 23. And
on the shingle?
On the shingle. So
on the shingle of the roof.
So I started looking it up and come to find out that 666 wasn't the original number of the beast. The 23 was associated with the number of the beast.
Fuck that.
Yes.
Which is weird because Jim Carrey did a movie called 23.
Right.
Yes, he did.
That's right.
Yeah. That is right.
All that weird synchronicity shit, right? Yeah,
That was a crazy movie.
And so when I Googled...
that's a pretty good one.
When I Googled it, there's a number right above the area where I saw that shadow figure.
Okay, but now, if ghosts aren't what people think they are in the traditional sense, like the spirits of deceased once humans like us, right? And they are some kind of interdimensional being, something that we don't even understand. They've been called demons or aliens or whatever else they are.
Sure.
And they feed off of our energy or our emotions or something like that. Well, what if some people, you know, they are the ice cream and the donuts and the chocolate cake, and then there's me and John. We are the salad bar of, you know, and they don't like us because we're happy, goofy, you know, whatever it is. And maybe that also has something to do with it.
Fearless.
They're starved around us.
Yep.
So you're pretty much useless to them.
Yeah, exactly. So they, you know.
Yeah, we're putting you up for adoption.
Yeah. So
anybody wants two friends?
We shut the party down.
That's really interesting.
You know, there was an episode of what was the Tennessee Ray Chaser show called?
Ghosts Lab? No,
Ghost Asylum.
Ghost something. They're all ghost something.
So they had an episode where they went into a building, and there was cars stored in this building, and one of them walked through. He said it felt like spider webs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
It was looking around for spider webs, and there was no spider webs. And so there's been a lot more, I think, recently, of accounts where people feel like they're walking through spider webs.
Yes.
So that's what we're calling, it would be like the ectoplasm.
Yep.
And so that's what I felt
that night. A lot
of
that here.
In that bed. When I sat down, dude,
he yelled at me.
This is the craziest thing that ever happened to me today. And I can't, and the experience never changes. I'm sitting down in bed, I'm starting to lay back on my pillow, and it feels like she has taken her hair and like thrown it over my face. Her hair used to be on the back of her knees.
So, but it was a bun.
So it's like she threw her hair over my face and she was dragging it on my face. And dude, I'm going like this, like, what are you doing? And I can feel the locks of hair and like poke me in my body.
I'm looking at him at this point. I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about?
Like, what are you doing? And she's like, what are you doing? You look crazy. And I'm like, I just felt hair on my face.
Yeah, because all I see,
like,
this is what I see.
I want to get some light in the room.
He's telling me, what are you doing? I'll see him is going like this. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
It is so crazy.
It was a crazy experience, dude.
Wow.
Hands down. I've seen some other stuff
jealous?
that's crazy.
Like an adult, you don't?
So they've had all this kind of experiences.
Right.
Me and John have had none.
I'll tell you what, guys, like seriously, in all honesty, like I'm kind of stoked now that you guys are here, you know. I don't know, it's really weird. Like I will say this about this place. It's more of a psychological head fuck than what's going to happen, right? So sure, a lot of people see things every once in a while, but for the most part, like what just happened to me, right? I thought I saw something. Well, usually what will happen is you'll hear something or you'll see something and then you'll go after it, right? And then the exact same thing will happen where you just came from.
Just like it's playing with you.
Yes.
It is fucking with you the whole time. And it gets to the point, like it doesn't take very long, just an hour or two, where you will start to question your own sanity. You're like, shit.
Well, that happened to you last night.
Well, when you see something in the corner of your eye, you know, like I didn't tell any of y'all this, but I was upstairs here, and I was, what was I doing? Something in, I can't remember what I was doing now, but I went upstairs by myself, and went to where Ina's room is. It's over here, right?
Yep, over here in the last room on the right-hand side there.
And I was in the, I remember now. I had the little Legend camera, and I was going around taking photos while there was still some daylight. And I went in the room, and I was taking photos right in the closet. And I'm talking, because I'll do that. I'll go around, and I'll, you know, because even though I haven't had a lot of experiences, and I don't believe in ghosts in the traditional sense, I still talk to whatever might be here. And if there's a name, or if there's a history, I'll sometimes go with that. So I'm talking as if I'm talking to her, and you say, we're going to be here all night, if you want to come out and play with us, this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And out of the corner of this eye, I could have swore I saw something in the hallway, but it was just for a fraction of a second.
Right.
And it's like, well, you know, it could have been like the eyelash, or it could have been, you know, a million things it could have been.
Yep.
I went to it and looked, and of course there's nothing there. I didn't hear anything, but it makes you, just like you said, it makes you question. Now, did I see something, or I was just a trick of light and shadow? What was that?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Did the cheese just slide off my cracker?
Totally.
You know, like, what's going on here? You know, like, am I going fucking...
Hit the floor and keep on rolling.
Yeah, am I going crazy?
But there's always tons of activity at all these locations until we get there.
Well, I will say
Y'all are
this.
staying in the van tonight.
This place will try with that manipulation of sound and sight, right? You will notice something. Like, I don't know how you guys investigate. If you're together as a group or if you split up.
We do it all.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, like, I know a lot of people who are very, very big on just you stay together as a unit and we'll collectively move throughout the house, right?
Right.
What this place will try to do
is separate.
Absolutely pull you apart, right? And you won't even realize what the hell's going on until it's damn near too late. Right?
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Why are you looking
But
at
I
me?
will say this. I will say this though. If one of you are ballsy enough to go up to the attic by yourself,
Tie yourself to a chair.
don't do that.
the noise canceling headphones,
Right.
blindfold. Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
But
I'll set you up then.
it's pretty interesting up there.
Since
Like,
nothing happens to you.
The past 4 weeks, pretty much, some pretty interesting things have been captured up there.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely gonna make my way.
You talking
up there at some
visual?
point.
I'm not talking visual. I'm talking strictly audible, but it's very audible.
Dude,
Like,
if
you
only
won't
we knew
even
somebody
need-
that had like 50 digital recorders.
Dude, that'd be
Oh
awesome.
wait,
Yes.
we do.
They're here.
All right, we're gonna have to do
Yeah,
that.
dude, you seriously, we should really make that like a primary focus tonight to have you up there.
And just
We've
have
had
them around and
literally-
circle
we'll
around.
This
Recorders.
recorder here that I'm using for us, I set that at the very top of the steps. Just boom, put it right there. I was here by myself. You hear me, and I'll say, yeah, I'm going to lunch, basically. I'm going to leave for half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. I'm like, give me, I think I said 90 seconds to clear the building, right? And then after that 90 seconds, there should be no real contamination other than maybe street noise that you would hear and things like that. 3 minutes is all this clip is. It's only 3 minutes in length. You hear footsteps approach the device. And then, you know, obviously when you pick up a recorder, it makes that type sound, right? You hear that sound. Like the device is being manipulated.
Right.
Then the file ends.
I remember hearing that story.
Fucking turns it off.
Well,
pretty interesting though.
So there was a point where there was silence.
Yeah.
You heard
You clearly hear me leave.
Yeah.
And walk out. You know?
You hear boots or is it foot? Just footsteps?
It is footsteps on the wood up there.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet.
And then I mean it's like 4 steps and then pick up.
Yeah.
Off.
Now,
It's like not today, dude.
I will say for us, one of the things we've started doing pretty adamantly is we don't run digital recorders if there's not a camera there.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Because we have, well, I'll give you an example of what happened in Villisca that we just discovered and debunked today, in fact.
Wow.
But we've had so many things captured that we thought were amazing. Because a lot of times on digital recorder, what sounds like one thing is if we had this, we could let them hear the.
I have the recording.
You have the recording?
Yeah, he's got both. I got both.
Did you hear that? I wonder if it would pick
Yeah,
up.
let's try it.
Yeah, before I say anything, let's just let
You guys listen to what we
Yeah,
thought.
play the original first, and then you can play the camera.
Yes.
Like kids or something? And then
that was something else.
screaming.
Yeah, that's what it
So let
sounds
me
like.
back it
right?
up. So what you're going to hear was going to sound like what you picked up, and then listen directly after it again. I'll play it.
I do.
And you still hear it after this. After this. Yeah.
So
My God.
That's freaking amazing.
So it
It
sounds
sounds like
Yeah, someone's in pain.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
a
girls
kid
screaming.
It
Yes.
sounds like she's in the corner of the bed and watching somebody
that'll make your
murdered.
fucking
Yeah.
stomach turn.
Yep.
So that's what happened to me when I'm going over this stuff. I'm
So
like,
she
I heard it
heard
3
it.
times before I let anybody hear it.
Oh, luckily we had a camera in the room, and it's got Zoom audio. Now, it didn't see what actually was happening, but it saw them in the room. But the audio from it, clearly you can hear. That was me closing the screen door in the front of this
Now,
guy's
what's
house,
weird
and you
about
can
it-
hear
Oh yeah, I've heard you speak about that before.
and it makes the same. It's the same time frame.
Oh,
And that's what
wow.
it is. So what? And you heard it. That sounds like we were all freaked out by that. That was fucking amazing.
Look, here's
Until
on
you
the
discover that it's not. Then you realize that
I
how
gotta
many
say, though,
people.
That's just it, man. Kudos for you guys for like doing the work and debunking that.
Oh, we debunk half the
So,
stuff.
That's frustrating.
Stuff, though.
What's
You don't want to
amazing-
fool yourself and by extension others.
But that's just
you
it,
know?
man. If I would have captured that EVP, it would have been on Facebook 30
Dude,
seconds later.
it's in the
Holy
book.
shit! You know what I
It's in
mean?
the book, and Melissa
Yeah, we wrote it down.
We wrote it down before we had a chance to debunk it. So someone's gonna see it and oh my god.
I
That's
had
cool,
talked to
though.
them about that. I was like, well, we don't want to do that right now
Right.
because we don't want to give everybody the best piece of possible evidence before our video.
Yeah,
That's a good
we
point.
see the video.
And so that's why we
super
held
smart,
back.
though.
Yeah, that's why it's not on
Super
Instagram
smart.
right now
Yeah.
because we waited.
Well, I mean, it's on Instagram now after. the
But it
fact.
shows the debunking.
It shows both
Right.
videos.
Oh,
That's good
okay.
stuff,
So-
though. Just because, like, I mean, people
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, people would not do
A
that.
lot of people
Well, you
don't.
wouldn't believe. Well, you would. How many TV shows do that very thing?
The same
And that's the
type
only
thing.
evidence they catch.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And it's all
And
misleading.
it's so easy to just run
You
with
got the
it. If
video?
there's no one else, I have it right here.
Okay.
There's no one else to dispute it
Mhm.
or throw it out.
Sure.
But what my thing is what I'm finding, and it's amazing to me, is how 2 different devices can pick up the same sound and one sound totally different than the other.
And they were being
And this
recorded at
is
the same
what's
time.
happened.
That's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So this is the
Sorry, I've
It's
been
a little
sick
bit longer
for 2
because
days.
I have the beginning section.
Shaggy and John are leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
There's your screen.
Yeah.
And it sounds exactly like a screen on there.
Yeah.
Or it didn't necessarily on the other.
There's that
You
noise.
got the noise, and
Yeah.
then right after it,
Yep.
So
That's-
see what it
that's
is.
it.
Is you were using an old Sony ST25, the
Yeah.
old digital recorder.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
sure,
just crappy digital recorders, but
Sure.
the people use them because they get some amazing EVPs.
Makes sense.
It
Yeah.
gives
Or
you
do
what
they?
you want,
Or
right?
do they?
Or yeah, that's a good point too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Now, guys, that's amazing though.
And it's almost disheartening.
Well,
Because
no, I
we
get it,
thought
yeah.
we had some
Yeah,
Holy
we-
Grail
but
type shit, you
When
know?
we
Think about
discovered
it,
it, we're at the hotel, and I was like, we discovered just before we left this morning, and I was like, crap. I even told him, I was like, do we go over there and tell him now before we go to Malvern? Do I go over there and kick Huck right in the balls now? Or do I wait till after we get back to Texas to tell him?
I'll kick him in the
Damn
balls
it.
later.
You know, I told him, I said, if we don't tell him, we're basically lying to him.
Yeah.
And we leave.
Because I'll tell you, this whole conversation would have been totally different. This
Yeah.
would have been me going, did y'all hear that shit? We caught the child crying, dude. The axe, you can hear the axe going in there.
Damn it.
Instead, it was
I
screaming.
tell you what though, like you guys will get that definitive piece of evidence where your audio and your video will leave you scratching your head, going like, "What the fuck
That's the
just
hope.
happened?"
That's the hope.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I
It'll
want the
happen.
Johnny Hauser experience, dude. I want to walk in that room and have that shadow figure run up on me.
Hey, speaking of that, tell us the story. And I know you told it before on the podcast, but I want them to hear officially the story of the team that you let in here. And about 30 minutes later, they were dropping the keys and texting you like, "We're out."
Yep. So, gosh, I don't even remember how long it's been now, but yeah, let a group in, showed them around, and I mean, guys, it was still like it was 4:30, 4:45, you know, tops
right.
when I was leaving.
It was daylight.
You know, it was still daylight, right? Coincidentally, at the same time that Hauser had his experience was about the same time,
Mm-hmm.
4:30ish in the afternoon. But I get home, and like I said, I mean, I'm 15 minutes tops
Mm-hmm.
away. I'm no longer than pulling into my driveway, really, and here comes my phone call, and they're like, "We're out of here. We're bum rushed by the shadow figure and all that stuff. We've locked the house. You know, we locked the house, but we are leaving." I'm like, "You guys have the place until noon the next day." I'm like, and they're like, "Nope." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Let me try to reiterate here what I'm trying to say." I was like, because you've paid for the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me put it this way.
They're like,
I'm not giving you a refund.
well, no. And the thing is, like, I kind of felt bad, right?
Right,
So
right.
I was more or less leaning to the fact that they're gonna ask for money, and do I be a dick? Like, what do I say? I'm like, "Fuck you! You can't have your money. No refunds." Or do I be like, "You know what? I'm gonna turn around and I'll meet you and I'll give you some of it back, or
Right.
you know, the majority of it back, or whatever."
Right.
But
They got what they paid for. They got
well, that's
what they
just
came
it, though.
for.
So,
That's what
well,
they-
the
exactly,
thing
that's what
is,
they're
though, I go,
looking
"But
for."
you paid for the full night." And they're like, "Yep," and they're like, "We don't want a refund." Like, they just fed it right
Straight
to
up
me. They're
told
like, "You keep the money, we're out."
Now, it was a
Wow.
group of 5.
There was, yeah, 5. I think 5 of them were here.
Now,
Male, female?
Mix.
Mix.
Yeah,
were they an official paranormal team?
according to them.
According to them.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I
it
mean,
sounds like to me.
it's interesting, like the dynamic of people that we do get here, though, because
Yeah.
you will have your hardcore teams that will show up. You know, shit, they're all dressed the same. You know, I mean,
That shit annoys me.
I'm so glad we all didn't wear our matching shirts.
I'm just saying, like,
it doesn't annoy me, but I
There-
would never have my group do it. And
Nah,
there's
it's just
a
too-
group.
It's a little bit corny, man.
Yeah, for real. We wouldn't do
Once
that
you do
either.
that within my group,
There's a
and
group.
they do whatever you want. I don't care, but I'm gonna look at you and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
But we have those teams, and I tell you what, like, some of them are like efficient as shit. Like they are they all have assigned jobs, designated things that they know that
they
what
have
they're
a
doing.
leader and they have.
Yep, exactly. And
that's
then
not us.
I understand.
Totally the opposite.
But they delegate it out and like, God damn. I'm like, you know, it's like, do you guys practice at home? Like, what do you do?
Rolling
because
out
this is
cables
like,
and
yo,
stuff.
yeah. I'm like, this is a well-oiled machine, right?
Wow.
Now we have other people that I consider,
I've
you
been
know,
at
more or
that
less
level
like.
before. Like when I first
I will
was
never be at
doing
that
the
level.
group,
I
we
will
had
never
it where
be at
we
that.
would have setup done in 15 minutes and we'd have teardown done in less because
That's
we just
impressive.
Wow.
had it all
Yeah.
done.
That's not
impressive.
happening.
I
Yes.
could not do that.
Not yet.
And that was
I
running
fuck around
cables
too
to
much.
cameras and
I just-
everything.
Yeah.
I'm more or less like, holy shit, you know, like looking around at everything, like, guys, we're gonna die. Yeah.
That's not like you.
Yeah.
I'm having a panic attack right now.
But then, I mean, we do have people that I consider more or less like thrill seekers, right? And like you just suggested, you know, that group, they got what they paid for.
Yep.
That's what they were after. That's what they wanted.
Yep.
And shit, man, they were home by dinner time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
They wanted to catch a quick scare.
that's
you
just
know.
it. But I think they found out real quick what their threshold was. And I think
Right.
that's very important for a group to go through and experience together because everybody's different.
Oh yeah.
And you have your oh shit moment. Don't get me wrong, guys. I have literally run out the front door more times than I can count. Like, not even lying.
Right.
Because I hit my threshold.
But most of the time it happens for you when you're in the bathroom. Right?
Fuck me.
Yeah.
That last
I heard
time.
those stories.
Did I tell you about the last time?
I heard
Did you
about
hear
it.
it?
On
About the- I got a
conversations
phone-
in the dark.
No, I got a phone call.
Yeah, you did.
That was ridiculous.
What happened?
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
So-
know
gotta know now.
this.
You can't,
So,
Yeah.
look.
you can't leave me on. Come on.
We were open for business, okay? Like day tours and all that stuff. And I had to go to the bathroom bad. Okay?
Taco Bell, did you run?
Yeah, I had a big lunch, right? So I had to use the restroom. Now I go in there. Yeah, it was go time, right? So I go in the bathroom, and I know more than drop my pants and
Take
take a seat. Yes. My phone starts to ring, and I was like, God damn it. Like, I have to be that guy. Yeah. I have to be that guy that now answers the phone while pooping, right? Like, and I don't want to be that guy. Or I don't want to allude to the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Hey, could you hold on?
Yeah, exactly, right?
God.
Like on Friday next time.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'm like, okay. So I answer the phone and I'm just like, hello. You know, all chipper, like, I'm not pooping, you know. But I'm like, hello. And there's dead silence on the other end. But the only thing that I hear that is like some breathing. And then I hear, goodbye. And I was like, okay. It was a female voice saying goodbye in a real creepy ass way. And then the phone call ends.
And then you were finished.
Yo,
the
well,
phone call service
so I'm like,
is the phone's
done.
Done.
It like somebody, whoever's on the other end, hung up. Right? I look at the phone and I just put it on the sink in there, and I literally just go, "What the fuck was that about?" As I'm putting it down. The second I say that, boom, the lights go out, and I'm like,
Oh.
like, here's a good thing I was sitting down.
that been moving along.
Home run, right? So I was like, wow. 7 seconds, darkness, right? Now I know for a fact these lights are on out here too, because again, and this has happened to me before, where the lights go out in the restroom, but I can see there's light that I can see under the door frame, right? I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm like, I know we didn't pop a breaker, you know? I can see that, no, the switch has not been manipulated or anything like that. I'm like, this is just completely fucked.
You thinking the bulb went out?
Because 7 seconds later, the lights come back on.
So it's not the light bulb.
So I tell you this
Can
one,
overheat. Light bulbs can overheat and shut off. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but
I'm
they
just
can.
saying,
The
I
one
went
my
in there,
bathroom
turned
actually
on the
does
light.
that.
I went in there and turned on the light. And wasn't in there more than 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And the fucker's off. Anyway, but I'm like ridiculous. So I composed myself. I went out back. I had 3 cigarettes because I needed to calm the fuck down a little bit. And then I called the number back, right? Because I'm like, it could have just been a misconnection. This could have been an odd set of circumstances here, pretty much, but it could have happened, right?
Right.
The number was disconnected and not in service is the only thing that I got.
Wow.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Wow.
So,
That's
I don't know.
true, dude.
this place, again, it's just a head screw, like what it's trying to do to you. So
now, I mean, earlier I made it sound like, and I always have to go back and correct this. I made it sound like me and John have never had any kind of experience, or never. You know, we've captured what we'll call anomalies. You know, video, audio, photographic, and we have had some experiences, but not anywhere near the Holy Grail level, right? I mean, I've never seen an apparition. You know, nothing like that. I've never seen a shadow figure, anything. Probably, and I don't know why I always forget this, but I think probably the most exciting thing that ever happened to us was, well, no, it was the door noise at a Monster's house.
The door that couldn't physically open that way, right?
Right. I think, didn't we talk about this on the...
I know that I've talked to you about it.
So that happened, and that was just, you know...
We were at Hill House Manor in Gaines, Texas
now,
in January.
Yeah, we did.
We were upstairs in the, what do they call that room?
The fireplace room.
And so we're there, we're doing our EVP test. We've got all these digital recorders on the mantle of the fireplace. And I'm sitting there and I'm sick, man. I'm fighting off.
Dude, this dude had flu.
Third time in a row I had the flu and I thought I was dying. I'm walking around with a mask on the whole day because I didn't want to pass it on to these guys. Yeah. So I'm sitting in front of the fireplace. And Tina's about where she is now, and she's facing the closet. John is in the corner. It's the furthest away from the activity. And then Shaggy's right here. And then we just hear, I just faintly hear footsteps. And it's getting louder. It sounds like it's come up the stairs. It's banked the handrail, and that's coming in the room with us.
Yeah.
That's how long it lasted.
Yeah.
And you see us all just looking at each other like, are y'all hearing this?
So I've had experiences. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that.
Dude, I mean, this was so real. Like, there was nothing in my mind telling me otherwise that we were about to encounter somebody.
Right.
They were about to say, like, what are you doing here? Like, what, you know, what? Maybe it's the man that owned the place because we met the lady. I'm thinking, it's got to be somebody.
Right.
Somebody's coming in this. There was nothing, man. Nobody. It was amazing. Damn. Footsteps. What we caught.
Well, I think a lot of times what will ruin it for me is I think too much.
Yeah.
In most cases.
I get it.
My thought is, if a ghost or spirit or whatever it is doesn't have a physical body, why am I hearing footsteps?
Yep.
I mean, what's causing that? The way hearing works in the ears and the vibration and all that. It's the same with the disembodied voice. What spirit has vocal cords?
Correct.
I don't know how that works.
Well, that happened to me
that's the point. We don't know how
at the machine shop talking about the restroom. I had a Josh moment.
That's all I forgot about.
Well, is the voice actually audible, or is it recorded on a device and maybe you just hear it in your head, not passing through your eardrums?
I see what you're saying.
Oh, it's manifesting in your own mind.
You never know.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
interesting.
It's kind of like a dream. You know, in your dream you hear people talk.
Right.
Are you?
I mean, that could
why
go
did you
into a
put
whole.
That in my head?
That could go into a whole thing of what is reality, because
man.
we're experiencing what is being put into our
that's
head.
just
That's
it.
a good way
So
to look at it.
Okay, so
maybe
now
you didn't hear it with your ears. It
Right,
was
that's
right
just
in your
it.
head.
So when I
We
was
have voices in our
upstairs in Inez's room, blindfolded, earplugs in, and tied to a fucking chair, I was hearing, well, I say I was hearing sound. I wasn't hearing shit because I had the earplugs in, right? I was perceiving sound in some way, shape, or form. It sounded like a little girl talking. We caught it on every piece of audio equipment in that room, and I was hearing it as well. But the dude running the camera
didn't hear nothing.
Not a fucking thing.
Yeah, remember that Brush with Evil 2?
Yeah.
We seen it. Yeah.
So like, how is it that we are perceiving our own reality? What you just said, motherfucker.
It's signals. It's electrical signals run from things that pick
that
up.
Goes back
the
to
world.
what we said about
There
earlier.
it goes
Because
about
your consciousness, they can't even really find. They think it's in your brain, but your consciousness, the science can't prove where it's at.
Right. It's funny. It's the
just,
third eye effect.
Yeah,
it's like the whole third eye.
Your experience is what is fed through electrical impulses from things that feed it to your brain and your consciousness.
Correct.
Which can be interrupted.
But they don't know the connections there. And what if it's an electrical signal, it could absolutely be messed with. Or something can be beamed into your head, and the government, I'm sure, has worked on this for a long time.
What is it? Voice to skull to voice to skull technology.
Well, there's the bone
something
conducting
like
technology.
That one too.
That's one too.
Yeah,
but
super hot.
They've been. There's nothing to say that they wouldn't be able to manipulate electrical current.
Yeah.
a free-floating one that could just make you hear something.
And if we're talking about it, they've been doing it for 200 years.
No shit, right?
Think about this though. We went from analog to digital a couple of years back. Remember when everybody was like, "You better go out and buy this cable and
that quick."
So we went from airplane, piece of wood airplane, to on the moon. If we went to the moon in like 45 years.
That's quick.
Think about this: the digital to the analog to digital, for example. And I've said this: we catch stuff all the time on our digital recorders. There was an experiment we did at Yoakum where we had taken it wasn't us actually, it was the Just Paranormal team had taken a cell phone and, like if I call Shaggy's phone and we left his phone up there, and so we're going to do this experiment and we're down in the parking lot. Nobody's in the hotel at all, in the hospital whatsoever.
Yep.
So we're out there. And they're asking questions over the cell phone, and now the cell phone's up there.
Have y'all tried this before?
I've seen it done.
Yeah, and I've done remote
responses.
sessions where
there was
I
a
was
female
in a different
talking back
city.
to us.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
This dude took off. Like he's like, there's a woman up there. I'm gonna go see her. So he takes off up there.
Upstairs.
But think about this though, and I don't know if any of you've ever wrapped your brain around this or even thought about it, but how much pollution is in the airwaves that is stuff you can't see, and it's all electrical, it's all analog and digital. It's baby monitors, it's CB radios, it's everything. It's Wi-Fi.
Everybody's got one of these.
All
the time.
So who's to say you don't walk through a signal that's real strong and it's got multiple signals coming through that? What if it's coming from a cell tower? And you just happen to walk through it.
You thought it was a disembodied voice, but you just walked into a signal and it's in your head.
And it just went right into your head, and you had no control over it.
Wow.
But to you, it sounded like somebody called your name.
Good job. You just ruined the paranormal for everybody.
Well, way to fucking kill my dream. That's all man-made technology. We don't take it, that doesn't account for all the magnetic waves that are running through us at every moment.
God.
The neutrinos that run through every single thing and all matter. And every other things we probably don't even know about passing through our physical bodies all the time.
I didn't want to use my brain this much tonight.
I had a toilet bowl moment. I was working at a machine shop. I was the general manager of a machine shop in Pearland, Texas. So I've been shop manager for, I don't know, maybe 3 months. And our yard superintendent, who's from Louisiana, he's kind of the owner's right-hand man. He hires this guy who's a neighbor to they were going to 1099 and pay him on the table, and they wanted to do some welding. The guy was a certified welder. So
remember that part.
Yeah. So they bring the dude in. The first day he works a couple hours, he goes home. So I called the owner and I asked him, I said, man, you want me to sit him down for a UA? And blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Kelly's going to work with him. Done. Okay, fine. Next day the guy comes in a little late. You can tell he stayed up late drinking. Kind of reeked of alcohol a little bit.
Yeah.
Say good morning to him. We all ate breakfast together, and then boom, we're off working. So it's probably been about an hour and a half gone by, and I'm setting up one of our CNC mills. And I'm sitting there and I'm messing with something or other, and I hear him come in. He's yelling, "Y'all help him! Somebody help him! Call 911!" Like, shh. So we take off out there, and this guy has electrocuted himself, and he's on the skid that he was welding, and his arms are drawn up, and dude, he's dead. Like we worked on the guy for over 10 minutes, but doing chest compressions, it felt like he was pushing on a concrete floor. I mean, he had cooked every bit of fluid. They couldn't even do toxicology on him, dude.
Damn.
So,
Fucking barbecue or something.
Yes, with electrical, with a welding rig. And so, dude had a hole like size of a $50 piece, like burned all the way through his shoulder to the ground, where the stinger had stuck him.
Wow. So,
no one was out there to save this guy. So I'm like, Kelly, where were you at? Well, I just stepped away for 10 minutes. Well, that's all it took. So now fast forward, maybe 4 months.
Yeah.
5 months tops. It's not fresh in my mind anymore. I'm up there late one night programming, and no one else was up there. I'm by myself, and I'm back into the office restrooms out of the shop, but the shop is locked up completely. And I've been in the restroom, dude, for probably like 5 minutes, and all I hear is in an echoey voice coming down the hall behind all the offices in the QC lab. I hear, "Hey, can somebody help me?" And that's all I heard. And I was like, "Hey, I'm back here. Hold on, I'll be right out." So I'm like, crap, somebody's in the fucking shop. The shop was locked. Like, how did he get in here? Like,
Yeah.
So I get done my business, which went by a lot quicker now that I've had some unwanted help.
That tends to happen.
Yeah. That was a self-flusher. Dude, I'm up. I'm out of there. I'm in the shop, and there's nobody, man. I check all the doors. Doors are locked. I'm like, oh, we got cameras.
Yeah.
So I go into the room, little room. I pull up that little 9-split screen monitor, and I'm watching. And I see myself get up and go to the back, and nobody else come in. I see myself come out of the restroom. Still nobody in the shop.
There's no audio.
There was no audio on the cameras.
Right.
And so I know now that was that guy, man. He was yelling for help, dude. He was still dying. He was still getting cooked. And he was like, hey, can somebody help me? And like I said, I only spoke with him 2 times, but man, it was that dude, man. I'm telling you, it was that same guy. And it was loud.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so I feel to this day that guy's still on that property, man. He's still trying to live. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to die. Like, and there was houses back there. It was a neighborhood. Like, it's amazing that guy laid out there and cooked for 10 minutes before the GFI switch tripped off on the Lincoln welder.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
But I know what I heard, dude.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me, pun intended. Hey, can somebody help me? And it was loud, dude. Like, it echoed down the back of the offices. Like, I knew beyond a shadow of doubt I was going to walk out and there'd be somebody there. And he wandered in. Maybe the door wasn't shut. It was locked, but it wasn't closed all the way. And he was looking for either work or somebody to do some machining for him. That's what I figured was going to happen. And there was nobody.
That's crazy.
It's amazing, though.
But the big question is, though, like, now that you mentioned what you mentioned, did I really hear him? Or was I the only one that could hear him?
Sure.
Right.
What if there were people in the shop that would have not heard him?
Is if those cameras did have audio, and you know they were seeing you going to the bathroom, and then you don't hear anything except you going, yeah, hold on, I'll be right there.
Oh, that would have been worse.
That would have been worse.
Then you'd have been taking the drug test.
True. That's very good point.
That's awesome.
You're like, can I talk to you for a second?
But I like that theory, though. Like, what if the stuff that we're coming in contact with is just either residual or it's something else, some other technology that's inadvertently, like, toying with our heads. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, I think the bottom line is we don't know what the paranormal is. We have no idea what we're interacting with, and maybe we're not meant to know here on this plane of existence.
No, I would totally agree with that.
On this flat plane of existence. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this flat plane.
I slipped it in.
That's because we're not going there, dude. It's an interesting thought, though.
Yeah, but I bring that up from time to time on the show about how I don't think necessarily we're supposed to know.
Right.
I think if we do find out, maybe that's at the point where we just die.
Yeah.
Or I think that there's possibly people that can know, but I think the majority of us aren't supposed to know. What if the next step is some heavenly place and it's wonderful? Why would we want to stay here?
Exactly. How many people are offing themselves like that?
They had that Netflix original show on, and I forget exactly what it's called. God damn it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the guy from How I Met Your Mother that played Marshall, the big guy on there, he was like the main protagonist or whatever. But him and his family basically figured it out. That, when you die, you do go to this amazing plane of existence. Everything you ever have wanted it to be and more. Right? Like what we would consider like heaven, essentially, right?
You just won the
but it doesn't make a shit of difference if you're good, bad, if you've committed suicide, if you've done this, you've done that, whatever. It doesn't make shit of difference. You're all going.
Y'all go to the same neighborhood.
People started just fucking offing themselves like crazy on this show. Like people are hanging themselves, shooting themselves, and not giving a fuck because they know that whatever they're going to is so much better than what this is right now. There is no pain, there is no suffering, there is no heartache, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, fucking crazy.
Well, there's the other theory that we're here and we choose to be here to learn something. Our soul chooses to be here to learn something. It's a possibility.
Dude? We talked about that
and,
same...
if we knew that that's why we were here. We wouldn't learn what we were supposed to learn.
Right. And it's a building process for the soul itself. So, I mean, in comes now reincarnation and the thought of, okay, well, this time I'm only going to live to be, 30 years old. I'm going to be addicted to every kind of fucking drug under the planet. And
that's a very uncomfortable thought.
It is, but it's like I have to go through this. I have to go.
Yeah, I mean, so many people go through so many horrible things, and they don't want to think about that they chose to be there.
Right. Somewhere else in true reality, because I don't consider this real reality.
We're just sitting on a computer somewhere, and some kids.
Shut up.
It could be.
I don't like that.
Or the physical, organic reality, could be a genuine reality. You see it again?
Footsteps.
Yeah, I heard it too.
In the fucking lobby. Did you hear that?
In the lobby? Oh, God, I keep wanting to walk off. It's not like we're doing a podcast for that.
Well, you run off like you think it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, we've been going for a while. We can stop.
That's a good point.
We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, because we were about to get into a real deep topic.
Oh,
Kupsik was about to
2-hour
topic. As he likes to do.
Dr. Feelgood.
Motherfucker. Oh my goodness.
I
tell you what, though.
I want to wrap it
How
up.
many did you hear?
First of all, just two, two footfalls. I mean, it's very apparent, that noise in there.
The wood floor.
Yeah. All right. Well, fuck.
I had no idea it was.
Let's just wrap it up. Okay. Thank you guys for doing this.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having
us
us over here, dude.
For real.
This is great.
I'm excited to see what you guys capture.
Who said we were staying?
I want you guys to have an experience. I want that to happen.
Well, we want to catch something on film.
Yeah.
I want something to throw Danny across the room or something.
It can do it as long as the cameras are rolling. You have my permission. If you're here and you can pick me up and throw me, as long as the cameras are rolling,
Chuck him across the room.
You have my
less
permission.
energy to throw him anyway.
But you have to catch me.
You don't have to drain all of our devices.
Yeah, now if you're trying to throw me, you're going to what? You're ghost nuts.
It'll be fine. Let you ghost nuts. Get a ghost hernia. Oh my god. Alright, I'm going to end this.
Stream is.
Because you know that
You did?
there's something better than what is here, so he's going to end it right now.
He's just going to
End it all.
So on the stream, I think I grabbed one of your old logos.
Yeah, I can
You
see
want to
it.
put it up?
And it's
Longer
also
than that
scrolling with Poppy.
Yeah.
I put Poppy on your.
So it's switched to.
Nice.
We'll switch back and forth. Poppy. Kupsik's really good at that shit. I don't know how to do it. Found money.
Technology beats me, so I don't know. I'm terrible with it.